Welcome to Relics Radio, your favorite weekly podcast dedicated to the metal detecting and treasure hunting community. Here are your hosts, Ken from Adventures in Dirt and Tony from 5280 Adventures.
So, welcome to Relics Radio. Ken here from Adventures in Dirt. I'm sitting here looking at my phone waiting for the show to start, and one of my good friends, Cindy, just messaged me, and she said, I found another grenade. So that's quite the interesting text to be getting from one of your friends here in Colorado. She found another grenade. Someday we hope to have her on. She could tell the story of finding her first grenade. But hey, I want to bring my co-host on. What do you think of that, Tony?
I hit live to start the stream, and my phone buzzes. I'm like, luckily I wasn't on camera because I was like, oh my gosh, another one. Anyways, cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man. How's your Wednesday?
We got to get Cindy on and talk about grenades, huh?
We do. That girl, man, are you kidding?
That's funny.
That's her story of the first one is just priceless.
It's awesome. Absolutely.
Sure we may have talked about it on here before, but
I'm sure we've mentioned it because it's an awesome story. But yeah.
How's your week, man?
Wednesday's good. I tell you what. Talk about this weather. This weather is incredible. It's like perfect. 70s, overcast, so and of course I can't go digging, but hopefully other people have gotten out here in Colorado and done some digging because the weather's been fantastic. And in actuality, like I went out Sunday, I think, right? Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
You weren't able to go. You were sitting there partying, eating lobster or crab legs and shrimp and a whole bunch of great things. I went out digging, and we had weather like this where it kind of like sprinkled stuff for a second, overcast, and it was amazing.
That is the best, man.
It was amazing.
That was awesome.
I love this time of year. So, but you did get out digging recently.
Yeah. I got out with a good buddy of mine, Jason. And Jason and I got out, and we went out and he put me on some great permissions. We did a nice drive out there. Beautiful country, boy, I'll tell you. And we were able to go after this old site that he had put. Went out there and Detector before and found some stuff. Incredible permission. Towards the end of the day, end up meeting the landowner who doesn't live there. You know what I mean? He kind of comes up every now and then, and he came up, just a wonderful guy, man. Just sat there and chatted with him, and he was super interested. He wanted to know about everything, what we found and what we've found in the past, and he had tons of questions for us. And we ended up traipsing back into this canyon because we thought, maybe this road went back there. And we started it was like traipsing through the jungle. It was just sweaty. It got real humid back in there, but we had 80-degree weather. It was beautiful. And it was just gorgeous. And when you're hanging out with a friend and you're in this beautiful God's country like that, it was awesome. It's an
absolute beautiful area up there north of us too. So
yeah.
Amazing.
And we were finding all early 1900s, mid 1900s, 1920s, all kinds of different bips and bobs, you know what I mean? Like Buick car emblems, makeup, lids and compacts and all kinds of cool stuff. So pieces of Americana for sure.
That's right. That's awesome. Well, good. We gotta take advantage of this nice weather here coming up here pretty soon. So
yeah, we do.
We'll get a couple more trips in before Colorado turns into the winter wonderland. So, but we'll get out. We got. I've been doing a lot of research actually, so I know we have to get out.
Yeah, I know the research has been flowing, man, back and forth, and even between you and me and Michael, we've been just sending stuff back and forth. And I sure wish I could have gotten out with you guys Sunday. I had forgotten all about this crab boil that I had planned. This low country seafood boil.
Yeah.
And, had people come over and stuff, but it turned out really well. We had A lot of food, enough to give it the rest of it to their neighbors. We're like, here, man, let's not waste it. But
wish I was a neighbor. Dang,
it's good stuff. Good stuff.
So, hey, let's get over to the chat and visit with everybody, and then we've got an incredible guest who has a plethora of finds. I've got it all up here on my big screen, and you guys are in for an incredible show tonight for finds. I keep looking up because this first one's incredible. But yeah, let's get over to the chat, see what we've got going on. Now we do have what's funny. We've got competition here to be the first one to sign in with us, right? Yeah. Wise Diggers, 2:47 p.m. That doesn't even count.
That's wise. That's very wise to tune in that early because you're going to beat everybody if you tune in that early.
That's right. Robert Thompson says, darn, I thought he was going to be first. He came in at 5:35.
Wow.
So Mr. Bill Hayes was out digging.
Yeah, I saw that. He was out digging some stuff.
Right. Hey, Barb, Dirt Pirate's with us tonight. Hey, Barb.
Hello, Barb.
Coming on with us. Let's see. Detector. That's an awesome picture, too. Can you see that picture?
Yeah. He's ready to rock, man.
Strapped and ready. Yep. Ready to get it all.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of South Dakota, how about this guy?
Oh, hey, there's Detect SD. How you doing there, buddy?
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to see you
there, Jason.
That's right.
That's right. And Bill had mentioned that when he was out today, he dug a large brass Rains guide at 8 inches deep with his D2, and he got charged 25 cents for saying the D word on the show. You can't do that.
Sorry,
we're not
Bill.
allowed to talk about the D word.
Sorry, Bill. We're building up savings.
Teresa, what we're doing is we're building up a savings to go to Ohio to dig with Bob, with Bill. That's what we need to do here. Yeah. Hey, Teresa.
Hello. Good to see you,
Mr. Bob Rose.
Hello, Bob. Welcome, everybody.
I just saw this. I like the M word.
Right.
Right here.
It. Darn M word.
Oh, hey, look at this. Our buddy Zach checking in.
What's up,
Great outdoors
Zach?
detecting. Let's go, Kyle.
Seen you in a while.
I know.
Great to see you, man.
Very nice. East Idaho Digger coming in.
And there you go.
We got Chris. Chris is joining us tonight.
Good to see you, Chris.
Tom Kingery.
Tom, welcome.
Lots and lots of people joining us here today.
Yeah, welcome, everyone. Dirt Claude, good to see you.
That's right.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Relics Radio. Wednesday night, coming to you from Colorado. Tony's down south. I'm up north. We've got the whole state covered.
Yep.
And beyond.
Nothing left here to find in Colorado. We're finding it all, just like Ohio.
That's it. Nothing to see here. Move on. Hey, you told me Gypsy's in town. Gypsy's in Colorado.
I saw a post on Facebook. She's down about hour and a half southwest of me. Not too far, but she posted a picture, and what did she say? It's absolutely beautiful. Weather's great. So yeah, she's having a good time down there.
If you're tuning in,
Colorado.
What's up, Gypsy?
I know, right?
Good to see you. Welcome to the beautiful state of Colorado. Well, yeah, let's get to our guest, man. I can't wait to talk with Kyle.
Yep.
He's full of stories. He's full of some cool finds. I
can't wait to get in these pictures, man. It's a good one. All right. We are welcoming Mr. Kyle Fiddes over to Relics Radio. Kyle, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. Thanks for having me here. I was super excited when I got the invite from y'all.
Well, welcome, man.
How could we not?
Right. Been on fire, man. It's like, got to get you on to talk about all the excitement. And next thing you know, you start telling us a little bit about your story, and it just keeps better and better and more exciting. And you come with the stories, you come with some pictures, and we just love guests like that, man. So you're welcome on anytime.
Thank you. I need to get more pictures. Unfortunately, I was running low there.
Right. Well, if anybody saw the thumbnail, they know what topic we'll get onto eventually.
Yeah.
But that incredible find that I had to put on the thumbnails. But let's kick it off. And why don't you tell us a little bit about you, how you got started metal detecting, where you're at, your GPS of all the locations for seeded coins, just the basic stuff.
Hey, before you get started, tell those kids in the background to pipe down and stay off the couch. And if they start playing that piano,
I'm jumping on the couch.
We're going to have a talk with them.
Yeah, my kid's 4-legged right now. My actual daughter is not here, so I love that. So my name's Kyle. I got into metal detecting back in 2015. Actually, it was a high school friend that got me into metal detecting. Um, he actually had the same first job as me. We started at Chick-fil-A, and I had found like a wheat penny or something in my drawer. He got all excited, and I was all excited because I loved coins. He's like, "Oh my gosh, dude, I have a metal detector. I find those with metal detectors." And he's like, "You should come with me." So I ended up going with him one day to a town in the Dallas area, and he had like an Ace 250 and an E-Track at the time, and I had no idea what I was doing. I just was like a monkey with a stick, essentially. Um, and
A good way to describe it.
yeah, he swung over this signal with the E-Track. He's like, "Hey, man, this sounds good. You should dig this one." And I think I was like 16 or 17 at the time. I just started like, oh man, I look back on it. I'm like, man, I tore that dude's yard up bad, and I feel so bad. I dug it though, and it was a silver pocket knife. It was a pocket knife with a silver case. So that
with the silver case.
Yeah, it hooked me immediately. It was my first thing I ever dug. So ever since then, I got progressively more and more into it. We started door knocking like crazy, finding coins left and right, old coins. I really got into detecting probably, 2018, 19, 2020, like right before COVID and during COVID. That's when I really just buckled down and got into doing research to find some of the old stuff. Because used to just go door knocking, and like I used to do courthouses and stuff like that. So just like pretty like normal, obvious spots. And then got into field hunting, and just
nice.
I've loved it ever since. Like I never understood why the old farts are like, "Get out in the fields." And then you get out there and you're like, "Oh, this makes sense. This is why people came out here back in the day."
Is that what you told your friend when he said, "Hey, I use metal detectors to find these"? Did you say, "Oh, I thought only crazy old men used the metal"?
Yeah, pretty much. I was proven wrong as soon as I found that pocket knife. It was essentially his signal, but he gave it to me. He was being a nice friend.
Yeah, amazing.
And that hooked me ever since, and we've been going together. I mean, we've been hunting together all these years later, so it's been over 10 years now.
That's cool, man.
So is it the history that drives you? Is it the finds? What kind of like motivates you to do? I know that you are heavy into research and putting in the time and the miles and boots on the ground type of thing. So, is it the history that drives it? Is it just the unknown? Is it the relics?
It's a mixture of everything. I love history. It was always the class that I paid attention to most in school, which was not very common. Most kids like didn't give a crap about history. So I always loved history, reading about it and just hearing about all the cool things that would be talked about. The Civil War especially. I love the Civil War in school. And I think a lot of it stemmed from I grew up in like my early childhood on the East Coast, and was around all those really old buildings and stuff. Like my grandparents lived in Williamsburg, Virginia, so you can't really get much older than that.
Yeah.
And just remember going there, and it was always fascinated me. And then I kind of call it like dirt therapy as well. I enjoy just going out, getting to look for something I love, and just turning my brain off almost, and just enjoying nature. Man, I used to go out on hot days, but now that I'm fat, not so much anymore. It's not as pleasant. I'm more of a fair weather digger now.
Shoot, you're still a fairly young guy. Like, what do you like other friends? You get your friend that got you into it, but like, what do they think, or family even? You know what I mean? Like, what do they think about this obsession you have? Because it's not very common. You know what I mean? Like when you talk to guys your age and such, it's like you don't expect to say, "Yeah, I'm in the metal detecting." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely not something that's very common my age. And I think that's what's kind of driven a lot of my friendships has been metal detecting. Because a lot of people like they'll be interested, but they won't like want to go anywhere or do anything. And then the people you meet that would eventually, go detecting, it's like you just immediately click because you understand why you like it, both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are in it for saving history and having fun. And so, all my friends, like my close friends that I talk to constantly, are all into detecting. I have like one or two friends from high school that I still occasionally talk to or play video games with, but for the most part, my close friends are metal detecting related.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and it's a good way. One of the other things that I've found is it's a good way to meet people who have a lot of experience in life, because a lot of the community is older. And I've found really good friends who are older that have kind of guided me in certain directions that I never thought I would go. And it's been just a real blessing to learn things from some of the older folks in the community. Like one of my friends, his name is John Sherman. I'm sure he's not watching this, but he's down like by the Austin area, and I called him out of the blue one day. Like, he had no idea who I was. I watched this YouTube video about him digging some like Republic of Texas button, and I was like starting to really get into field hunting. And I like, they mentioned his name in the video, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of cyber stalked him to find out like his phone number. I found his phone number. I just called him out of the blue.
You researched it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're a very good, just like Chris just said, you're good at researching.
Yeah, and I found his phone number and called him out of the blue and just like immediately info dumped on him, and he was just like, "Who are you?" But once he realized I wasn't like trying to like just like steal his spots or something, he really took me under his wing and taught me a lot about what to look for, and how to talk to people. One of the things is just how to be a good person for landowners and keep the hobby alive and well. Because we all have those sites that people just ruin. It's horrible. And so John's taught me a lot about that and just what to look for, and what the old soldiers and other things and settlers were thinking back in the day. It helps me get me an insight onto how to find sites.
I tell you, isn't it interesting, the people that you come across in this hobby? I'm looking at the chat, and this is just the chat, but we could go off on a whole bunch of different people, but I've been able to dig with Bill. Bill is, I think, 2 or 3, probably 3 or 4 times older than I am, at least, maybe 5. I don't know. But also, been hunted with Teresa, an incredible woman in the hobby, right? And you come across a lot of people that you wouldn't normally have contact with or have something in common with, but there's just one small little hobby, I guess. And all of a sudden, you're talking to these people every single day, multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And the friendships and the things that you learn from each other is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. You know who we're digging with next, Tony?
No.
Kyle.
Oh, well, yeah. No, I knew that.
You're welcome down to Texas anytime.
He's like 4 or 5 times younger than I am. See how that works?
Someday we'll be like, yeah, we're digging with that Kyle guy. And I think Teresa earlier, I wanted to know if you were near the Dallas area.
Yes, I'm in the Dallas area. I live up kind of near Denton.
Gotcha.
Beautiful area.
There's a lot of detecting in Texas. Like, we were talking Gypsy, and like, she started, like, how many clubs has she started? Detecting clubs here and there throughout Texas, and some of them are even still active. But yeah, she tells me a lot. She told me a lot about all the detecting that goes on in Texas.
Yeah, Texas, everyone says Virginia is hunted, and it's hard to find things in Virginia. One of the photos I sent you, Tony, that we'll get into later was in Virginia. But I made a trip out to Virginia, and they're like, oh yeah, someone came by 20 years ago, and it wasn't anything new. But I'm telling you, you can go into some of the towns in the Dallas area, go door knock on a door, and they're like, oh yeah, there's been like 20 guys in the past year here. And there's nothing in the yard. You could be the best detectorist in the world, and like, you won't even find like a pull tab in the yard.
Wow.
Yeah, it's rough.
Teresa Treasure Hunter wanted to mention her house is in Rockwall.
Oh, Rockwall. Okay.
Yep. So it must not be too far away.
Yep. She's over like on the east side of the metro. God.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. She's wonderful. If you ever get a chance to dig with her, I highly recommend it. Wonderful person, and a lot of fun to be out there swinging with. She's got the greatest pair of like headphones I've ever wore in my life. They're amazing. It says Teresa along the top in like gold.
And they look really good on Ken's head too.
They did.
Hilarious.
Boy.
Hey, let's talk about something. I got a picture here. I've been just salivating to get these up here and show people. So,
and I'll do my best to try to explain what we're looking at for the audio
Right.
listeners. You know what I mean?
Right. So let's pull up this first one here. There's a lot going on in this picture. You've got lead, you've got silver, and you've got gold. I mean,
Yes.
what more can you get as a detectorist? So, this first one, tell us a little bit about, was this all on one hunt?
Yes, actually, this was all one hunt. And just fair warning, I think 2 or 3 of those bullets weren't mine. It was a group hunt, so we used that to kind of prop up some of the finds.
Yeah, sure.
So some of those bullets are not mine, but the coin and the ring are mine. So I was out in Missouri, and one of the chatters, Chris Heimsoth, you might know him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was hunting with him and a couple other friends. Becky Mackey in the chat as well. She was there. She was there, found some pretty cool stuff too. But we got permission that Chris had. I was just looking for some Civil War stuff in the area, and I was like, "Hey, this field looks great." And Chris was like, "Oh, I think I know that person. Let me reach out to him." And so he reached out, got the permission, and we walked that field for quite a while. We started out somewhere else, and then walked into the field where this little campsite was, and we kind of went to like the higher ground area of the campsite because there was a creek right there on the property. And we weren't really finding anything on the higher ground. And then one of our friends went down into like the low ground, kind of like swampy area that would flood, and just dug one of those bullets next to the seated dime. And it was just strange because one of the things that I had always looked for is like kind of high ground for campsites, because the soldiers didn't want to be down in the muck for the most part. Our thought behind this was it was like a single day camp, just a 1 day thing, and then they moved on. But he dug that one bullet, and as soon as I saw that bullet coming out of the ground, I was like, "Oh, it's on." So we started digging, and those bullets are like just a fraction of what we found there. That was just to get the photo of the coin and the ring. Actually, to the left of the seated dime, kind of in the back, you can see there's a teardrop bullet.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So the two in the behind the coin, those aren't teardrops.
I want to say we ID'd them as like Bartholomew, like 40 something Bartholomew's or pistol bullets.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'd have to look at it again. But
I love those teardrops.
The teardrops are so fun to find.
They're just so beautiful.
That was actually the first dropped one I'd ever dug was there. I had probably dug 15 or so fired ones, but I'd never dug a dropped one until we got into that camp. We dug a lot of round balls there, a ton of round balls. We think it was an early war camp, probably like 61 or so. Chris and Becky and another friend kind of like fanned out after it slowed down a little bit, and I just kind of dug in. I was like, man, this is where the camp is. And we hadn't found the ring or the coin yet. So I dug in, and I dug the coin first and was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I love finding that.
Was that your first seated?
No. I've dug my first seated, coming up on 10 years ago now. But no, that was I was just thrilled to find that. Anytime you find a coin in a Civil War camp is just exciting, man, because you just don't know what it's going to be. It could be anything. And then it really slowed down, but I just kept digging all those camp lead signals, which are like super low. They don't sound very good. They're small because it's just tiny pieces of lead. Sometimes they can be big. For the most part, it's just like little tiny pieces. I just dug another, if you guys are familiar with the Equinox 800, that ring was a 910 signal, kind of choppy, and just thought it was going to be another piece of camp lead. And I saw the gold, and I was like, I got gold, really loud. And Chris was like, shut up, Kyle. So,
wow.
And it doesn't have any markings or anything on the inside, but you can't really tell on the photo, but it's like scrolls on one side and a serpent on another.
I was going to ask you what the image is.
Yeah. And then it's the front is like a flat shield.
Wow. Oh, I see. Okay.
I did some reading somewhere, and I don't know how true it is, but I read something about them selling like soldiers' patriotic rings. You could get them in different metals. And this was potentially one. I don't know how true that is, but it was just interesting to read. I was like, oh, maybe that's what it was. But there was nothing else from any period of time other than Civil War where we were hunting there. I don't.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like knowing that it was most likely a day camp with soldiers were the only ones there, no cross contamination. Like that legit belonged to a Civil War soldier. What an incredible find! I mean, the coin and bullets are amazing, but that personalized item, like, wow,
incredible. I mean, yeah, anytime you find something like that, it comes to the surface and you're just like blown away. So let's, for our audio listeners, what are we looking at here? We're looking at a couple round balls, a couple spherical kind of projectiles. Looks like maybe like a 3-ringer. And then in the back, there's a teardrop laying there. And then you've got a bullet that's got like a ramrod compression on it, and an 1853 silver seated dime.
It was a dime, and it was a New Orleans mint dime.
Beautiful. And then this pretty little gold ring, man. So cool, man. Especially because you know where you're at. You kind of know that's exactly who it had to come from, or the soldiers that were there, no doubt. And it's got to be a prized possession of yours. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yes. Every now and then I'll just bust it out and look at it and have fond memories of the hunts I had with friends before I moved away, because that was all found up in Missouri when I lived up in Missouri.
Yeah, and Becky and Chris in the chat right now, they're just like Chris says. I was pretty excited for him. I mean, Becky said that Chris was doing backflips over that ring.
Yeah, Chris earlier said he was smiling, remembering back now, reliving this whole thing. And that's what I love. That's what I love about metal detecting, because you can look at a find, you know, I can grab anything and be like, oh, I knew exactly where I was when I dug that, and who I was with and how I felt when I uncovered it. And when I go and look at it again, now I'm going right back there. You know what I mean? So they're listening to this podcast of us interviewing you know, Kyle, and like they're going right back there. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And that was the last treasure I dug before I had the best treasure I've ever had, which was my daughter. So
there you go, man.
That was the last hunt before she was born.
Wow. Very cool. And now they all pale in comparison.
Yes.
There you go.
99% of the time.
That's right. That's right.
We won't tell anybody.
Except when it's 2 a.m. I'm like, yeah.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Hey, the next find, you said it's got a pretty great story. Let's not say what it is first when we bring it up here. I want to see if they can identify this in the chat. So if you guys know what this is, tell us in the chat right away, and then we can kind of start in on the story. You said it's a pretty good one, so.
Oh, you know what that is? That is a piece of cotton that has chainmail on it.
Yes.
It's a piece of chainmail, what they call them, curios, that was from, am I getting close? No, not getting close.
Not getting close.
What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat. You see how I explain it?
And I know that's not,
4 inches by 3 inches wide, maybe. It's got shiny on it. It's got links on it.
Is there something inside it right here?
Yeah, that's a coin.
What? Gosh. So I think chainmail with a coin inside.
Yeah, right. With this part.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what is it?
The audio listeners, obviously.
I've got to know. What is it?
So it's a coin purse. I dug that in Virginia. And that's kind of why I brought up Virginia earlier. So I dug this in a yard that was for a house that was built in 1757. The cornerstone, it was an old plantation house. The cornerstone on the house had a hand carved date of 1757.
Wow.
And it kind of goes back to like I know the episode with Matt Howell. They have a lot of pressure out there, probably for Civil War relics, but I don't know how many people actually door knock out there, because the gentleman that owned this property said, it's probably been 15-20 years since I had someone out here. But when he was out there for like 2 weeks straight. So I mean, he still found a lot of cool stuff. But we started there in the front yard, this beautiful lush yard, and just walk up the pathway. And my buddy that I was with, his name was Michael. He dug a flying eagle. That was like the most beautiful flying eagle I've ever seen dug. It's like jade green with no erosion or anything.
Really?
And he dug a Civil War button, same way. It looks like it was dropped in like clay or something. It's so pristine. But this coin purse right here was along the walkway. And it was like just the most obvious signal. I thought it was going to be like a silver $50 or a large cent. And I dug it out. I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, this is my first like whole coin purse. And I like shook it a little, got the dirt out. And I saw that there was a coin in there. I just lost my marbles. And it ended up being an Indian head penny. I was like, man. I was like, oh man, like I wish it was like something else. But like,
could have been a lot of other things.
Silver.
Yeah. At least a barber, man. But
right.
Yeah.
Hey, what'd you see first when you started uncovering this? Did you see the snap first or the chain first?
I actually saw the chain first. So I like, it was kind of in the sidewall. Because believe it or not, even though it's large, it was hard to pinpoint because it was a large signal.
Do you think it was like a necklace or something or some kind of?
I didn't know what it was at first until I used my small shovel to get the top out. And as soon as I saw the top, I knew what it was. And then I was excited. Wow. That was when the juices started flowing. You started thinking about these things. Like, oh man, like there could be anything in there.
Yeah. Right.
And that's part of the fun. You just never know what you're going to find, especially when you get a nice permission and you're just like, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to find out here. And you go out there and most of the time it's just, junk, but every now and then you get a sweet find like that. And it just keeps you invested.
The best phrase I hear when I'm metal detecting is when I bring something to my buddy and he's like, do you know what that is? And when I hear that phrase, I'm like, oh, something, what is it? Cause
you know what? Hey,
you don't know.
That only happens when you're standing in front of your buddy has a camera. You're standing in front of him with a camera holding up a spoon and you're pretending like you're eating off of it. You're being just, a wise ass, right? And the guy behind the camera goes, there's writing all over that spoon there. Oh, what? Let me get out my other glasses here. I thought it was just a spoon. Oh my gosh, it's a commemorative spoon from the exposition in Paris. And yeah.
That sounds very specific. That sounds like a very specific
That was
story.
just a general situation I just came up with. I swear that didn't happen.
That just happens to everyone.
Yeah. You're like, Ken, you need some new glasses, man.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. That explained the scene perfectly too. I was like, hanging it on my nose. I'm like,
yeah, stick it on your nose, pretend like you're eating Jello with it.
But yeah,
do you remember the year of that IHP inside there?
It was 1897, I want to say.
Okay.
So it wasn't too old, but it was a great find.
So yeah.
Yeah, and man, I'm telling you, when I went out there to Virginia, it was beautiful. Virginia is a beautiful state. It is. And I went there at the perfect time of year. It was October, so everything was just gorgeous. Man, just digging out there. And like I said, I got 2 permissions. I went out there during COVID. And so like no one really wanted to answer the doors. But the 2 permissions I got, it was the same story. It was like, I've lived here 40 years and I let some guys hunt like 20 years ago or something. Nice. And the other house, my buddy Michael I was with, we started going up the sidewalk towards the front door and like another beautiful silver half signal. And it was a silver half. So I was like, I can't believe that there's all this stuff left in these yards. Like that just doesn't happen in Texas.
Right.
Excellent. I was looking, I thought I saw a question up there, but
where were you in Virginia?
So that was,
in general.
Yeah, that was the Shenandoah Valley.
What? Yep. Okay. See, I lived in Winchester, with Northern Virginia there, Winchester, right below West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And cherry blossoms and that valley through there is probably one of the most incredible places in the United States by far.
I love it, man.
In October. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I've been to like the Front Range in Colorado and whatnot, and like it has its own beauty, and like the deeper in the Rockies, I'm sure even more beautiful. But like, there's just something about like the old grace of the Appalachians and the Blue Ridge Mountains. Like, you're there, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like gentle.
Yeah.
It's not like the rocky crags you get in Colorado.
That's right. And I mean, your head's on a swivel when you're back east there in Virginia, because every intersection, you've got a historical marker, you've got a story on these boards. Like, I mean, I don't know how you get from point A to point B without having to stop and read everything.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
When I was digging recently with my friend Jason, we were on this site that was all slate. There was this slate rock everywhere. So you go to put your shovel in and you just like chink, just immediately stop. So then you go like, 4 inches to the left, chink, and then you get to the backside. So the fourth side you tried just sunk in all the way to the hilt of the shovel. And you're like, man, and you go to pry it up and you think you're unburying like a big target like this because you see the whole earth move.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually just giant slate rocks that were
moving,
covering everything. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Not a fan of the rocky terrain. Yeah. Let's go.
How about this? This is on my bucket list right here. This is a it's a small silver coin.
Small little thing.
Got the Star of David on it with a shield in the middle, United States of America, 1851.
Very nice.
And then opposite side, look at this. Such a unique side to this. No other coins really have this type of design with the three eyes in the middle with this huge decorative C around it.
It is very different, isn't it?
It's completely different than any other coin that we've ever minted. But 100% on my bucket list here. I have never uncovered this. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Was that your first one, Kyle? Your first try?
No, actually, my first one, and I'm going to back up from this coin right here. My first one was a week before I dug that one. Oh. And I wasn't even in a field. I was in yards for both of these. It was the weirdest thing. The yard that we'll see later in the presentation from some of the other finds, I dug my first trime. And when I dug it, it was like this little tiny, like bubbly blackened piece of something. And my friend and I thought it was like some sort of aluminum play money or something. Mm-hmm. But I looked at it and I said, man, that just looks like a piece of silver. So I stuck it in my mouth and it clacked against my teeth. And I said, yep, that's silver. I don't know if you guys have ever done that with a silver coin, but it's a very distinct feeling. When you clack the silver on your teeth, it's like, it's like immediately you just know it's silver.
And Ken calls it putting it in the dishwasher.
Yep. And I'm telling you cannot tell what it was. There's like one, you see how there's stars along the edge of the crescent there? Mm-hmm. We saw like one or two of those stars.
Wow.
And we were like, okay, it's a trime just based on the size and how it was ringing in. Funny enough, it was in a campfire that we think Civil War soldiers had made in that yard.
Wow.
But that trime is actually on YouTube on a gentleman's channel. His name is Bob. But he was looking for a trime, and on the way out
is that Pastor Bob?
No, not Pastor Bob. His channel name is like Fins and Finds or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Watched him. Absolutely.
We were talking about trimes and stuff beforehand because I just dug my first. And I was like, man, I would love to get one that has some detail on it. And Bob was like, oh yeah, he's like, I've never dug one. I'd love to dig one. And we go out here to this house, and this house had been hunted many, many times by some friends of mine before I got to get on there. And there wasn't much in the yard. There was like some flat buttons and whatnot. And I went up to the front walkway again, like I always do, just because I love going up the front walkways of these old properties. And I got this signal that was just like almost triple tapping. And there was like a signal off to the side. So I was like, let me just clear this triple tapping signal that sounded like a zinc penny. I was like, I'm just going to get it out of the way so I can hear this other signal like a little bit better. Well, I got down with my pinpointer and I didn't even use my shovel because I just like kind of pinpointed the ground and it went off. So I like moved the like grass and leaves out of the way and like used the pinpointer again. And as soon as I did that, it was a little bit wet out and the dirt just like slid off the top of the coin, and there's just like this bright shiny chime just sitting there.
Gosh.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And my friend's like, what?
The heavens opened.
I was like, dude, there's a trime like on the surface.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that was it was literally maybe
that's in beautiful condition, man.
Yeah, it was like dropped the day it was minted, essentially. I know you can't tell in the photo, but in person it's like it's a super thick coin. Like there's not much wear to it at all.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow.
I was reading about it. I think it was one of the first coins that didn't feature Lady Liberty ever minted. Everyone thought it was very unusual at first.
Teresa, I'm using the Equinox 800.
There you go.
There you go.
Great machine, man. You probably know that like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I could almost like it's to the point now where I can pretty much tell you what I'm about to dig with it before it comes out of the ground. Obviously, when I dug my first gold coin, funny, we'll get to that, but I'll get to that part of the story later when we get to that.
You said the G word. Tom.
Yeah,
You said the G word.
Right.
But yeah, like if I'm in a place and I know that I'm on a spot that's going to be producing something, and I get a signal, I can almost 50 to 60% of the time I can almost smack whatever's about to come out of the ground
with the date. Like if it's a coin with the date and the mint mark.
Can you call the date?
I haven't tried that yet, but next time I should do that. Like I'm about to dig an 1848 large cent.
And then it comes up and everyone's gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah, right. So this next one, out of all the pictures that you sent and we talked about offline and stuff, this one might be my favorite one. You guys listening live or even on the replay here, stick around, or you're going to want to look at these pictures that we've got going on here, because this next story just absolutely blows me away, just the personalized side of it. So we've got this here, and why don't you describe it and tell us a little bit about what this is?
So
gorgeous is what it is.
It's sterling silver stamped on the back, but the front of it is like a little bar, and on that bar is a name engraved. It says C.C. Hemingway, and on either side of that bar is like a lion biting with the teeth like coming over the bar. It's super
holding it in the teeth. Oh my gosh.
Yep, it says
almost
C.C.
dragon,
Hemingway.
right? Kind of almost dragon.
Almost
lion and almost like a dragon, right? Yeah.
I always thought it was a lion, but now that you're mentioning that, it could be a dragon. I just don't know what kind of influence this gentleman had.
The detail on the teeth coming through, holding it in place.
Yeah, and the nose.
It draws my eyes to it. Yeah,
that's very cool, man.
With the wrinkles in it, it's incredible.
Yeah, and when I found it, at first I saw like the lion, and I didn't see the engraving on it. I was wondering, I was like, what is this? And I could tell it was silver, but like I didn't really clean it up until I got home. And I was at, and I'll talk about this spot just because it's one of the things that if anyone knows my Facebook, I posted about it because of how happy I was. I was at a place called the Hemingway House. And so when I saw what I had found, I just like lost my marbles. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like so amazing. That was found in 2019. And that was, I think, what really, like, when I found that and connected it to where I was, you could find Indian head pennies in any yard from the 1800s or early 1900s. But when you can find something that's personalized to the person that used to live there and that the house is named after, I don't know. It's so exhilarating.
Whole nother level, right?
Yep.
Like things step up from there. You're like, whoa, yeah. This is what it's about. So how long is that thing? Probably a couple inches, or
it's like 2.5 inches wide, maybe like an inch tall or so. So it's not too big. It used to have a pin on the back, but it's broken off, and it was a little bit bent when I dug it. That's why it's able to stand up. It's because it's just slightly bent. So I think it used to be flush. Do you want me to tell them what I think it is?
Yeah, absolutely, 1,000%. Yeah.
Okay.
So the story is through your research. You obviously researched this house, the owners, and who this person was. So, and from all that research, you kind of found some information that this could directly relate back to. So yeah, give us a story.
Yeah, so when I finally saw the engraving on it, I looked into the family online, and I found that this gentleman was the one there on the left. If you're watching, um, he was a president of a local college just after the Civil War for some time. So the only thing I could really think of that this would be for was maybe something related to him in the college, like a nameplate, something that he would have like on a suit or something, or maybe something near his desk. I'm not entirely certain. It had a pin, so I assume it went like somewhere on his breast somewhere.
Wow. How do you spell his last name there?
It's Hemm. Let me look at a closer photo real fast.
Okay. Somebody was asking if it was the writer Hemingway. It's not Hemingway. It's actually spelled differently. It's Hemingway.
With
it's
G, right?
Hemenway. It's Hemingway.
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 W-A-Y, not W. Okay.
Yeah. Hem. H-E-M. Hem.
Hemenway.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Hemingway. Okay.
Yeah. Very cool.
There we go. So it's C.C. Hemingway, right? Hemingway.
Yep. It was Charles Carroll Hemingway was his name.
Okay.
And
I mean, I think your deduction, it makes sense, right? I mean, it's got his name and that font. I'm in love with this font here. Like that is, what's the time frame we're talking here? Do you remember?
So he was the president of that, like after the Civil War, like 1870s into the 1880s. Okay. And then just from the font and the ornateness, I always just dated it to the Victorian period, just because of how like over the top it is almost. I mean,
right.
The Victorian period, the houses are just like so beautiful, and they had an eye for design. And whoever made that is like a brilliant piece of metal worker. Like whoever made that deserves props. I wish I knew, but there's no maker's mark on it.
Oh, wow. That would have been incredible for sure. And what an incredible piece, incredible story, but the story actually continues, right? You were at the site, and you found some more things, some more personalized items that you can actually, But
wait, there's more.
There's more. Here we go. How about this?
So I found out a lot about this house and this property and these people through this woman who owned this ring. Her name was Ida Hemingway. And I can't remember her middle name, but it's obviously a C of some sort. But her name was Ida Hemingway. And as you can see inside that ring, it's ICH. So you can actually find her memoir online, and it talks about this property growing up there from before the Civil War. And not to be macabre or anything, but there's just some really interesting things that had happened there even before the Civil War, that dealt with the disciplinary actions on slaves, and just what she thought of growing up with like a slave nanny. And then after the Civil War, or even during the Civil War, she talks about soldiers like coming into their yard and like demanding things from the family. And she said like we were just as scared of the Confederates as we were of the Union Army, because we just didn't know, what they were going to do. So it's a very interesting read. I'm sure if you look up her name, Ida Hemingway, it should be in like the Boone's like historical. You can read all about the house and the lady's experiences there.
That's awesome, man. Like,
I mean, two pieces that are just absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Does this have a mark on the inside besides the initials?
It just said 18. There was no maker's mark. Okay. It just said 18 for 18 karat. And I know you don't really have a point of reference, but that ring is very chunky.
It looks chunky.
It looks
really
chunky, but it looks a little smaller too.
It's small, but it could fit like on my pinky finger, but it's super thick. It's probably the heaviest gold ring I've ever found. I mean, and it's like, it feels like a rock in your hand when you're holding it.
Yeah, I bet. Wow. Wow, Becky in the chat just said, "I'm drooling. I did not know this." So, Teresa says, "Incredible story." Yeah, I really wanted you to kind of tell that story from these finds, just because, most of us, you would love finding an 18 karat gold ring, a wedding ring, with initials. I mean, you start doing that research, but just to have that story connection to the house and to that time period, and then you go read the memoir on top of it, like, I know that wasn't the best time in the United States per se, but with what was going on with slavery and treatment and those kind of different things, but that is our history. We can't change that, and being able to read that firsthand of what her firsthand view of that was, and you're sitting there holding this ring of hers. Oh
Yep.
my gosh,
And
you give
it's
me goosebumps,
interesting.
man.
It's the memoir is, she talks about these experiences, but it's from a child like view. She was only like 6 or 7 when the war broke
Okay.
out. Or maybe she was just a little older, but again, it's that childlike innocence she talks about. And like one of the things she mentions was that the father like fake beat a slave in the back to like quell the townspeople because the slave had done something that had upset the townsfolk and they wanted the slave to be punished. Well, she said that the father took the slave in the back somewhere and told him to play along. And I'm sitting there reading it. I'm like, well, that would be amazing if that happened. But it's also, she was super young.
Sure.
I'm sure she wasn't actually there witnessing whatever was happening.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to read about just a perspective from a child, essentially. Because you don't get that too much from Civil War era time period things.
Right.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Beautiful.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, the chat right now is pretty much losing their mind over not only those finds but that story. So I'm so happy you got to share that with us. We've got a lot more to get to for sure.
Yeah.
So let's see. We've got let's see. I want to get into this one right here.
That also came from the same yard as all the other the same ones.
So wait, there's more.
Mm-hmm.
More of a story, in fact, not only just this incredible find, but the story that goes along with it.
So this was found, oh gosh, maybe 15 feet away from the ring. It's like a black
Describe it for us.
It's like a black onyx setting on gold. I want to say it was like 14 karat gold with like a really ornate like outer design, and there's like a black onyx inlay with some more gold like swirl patterns in the middle, and then right in the smack middle is a gemstone of some sort. I could never figure out what it was, but it was kind of clearish color. I want to say it was like some sort of like a raw emerald or something. But I could never ID it. I gave it to the landowner, and she was thrilled with it. And on the back is where it gets really interesting.
The story develops even further.
Yep, the back is
we're zoomed in here.
Yep. Wow. I know it's hard to read if you're watching, but I'll read it out for you since I've seen it before. It says, died 29 December 1838.
Wow.
And so it's a remembrance brooch.
Yeah, and this was, it looks like it's got the pin area here, and then it locked down lower down here at the bottom. Okay.
Yep. To remembrance brooch. And I did some more digging. And I want to say it was Ida's grandfather who had passed away at that time. And I can't remember his name for the life of me now. It's been years since I looked at it. But I want to say it was her grandfather that died that day. And so this must have belonged to her as well.
Grandma's baroque. Grandma's baroque. Grandma's baroque.
Yeah. It's a beautiful piece. I know that.
Yep. And wow. Tragically though, when we found it, that is actually a photo of me after I put it back together. I found it was whole. I gave it to the landowner because it was something that was just like, I know you can't tell the beauty of it when it's in the hand there, but out in the sun, it was just like one of the most gorgeous pieces of jewelry I'd ever seen.
Beautiful.
And I gave it to the landowner. We walked inside and we went over to the sink and started washing it off. And I think she just put a little bit too much pressure. That black onyx bit with the gemstone like popped right off.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was real upset. I was like, oh man, like I wish that didn't happen, but that's okay.
Wow.
Are you ready for a name? I might have a name for you, Kyle.
Sure.
I knew you were up to something back there.
So Ida's grandfather was Thomas Shackelford
Yep.
Sr.
He was the
That's
one
it?
that had the plantation.
Did
in
you
a
find a
neighboring.
date for? Did you find this date?
Date year is 1835.
Oh,
1935.
this said 38.
38? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
this said 38. I'd have
Okay.
to look into the thing again, but I want to say it was Ida's relative of some sort. I
Mhm.
want to say it was a grandfather, but it could have been someone else as well. I
I
had to
will
go to
tell you
Ancestry.
I was going to say probably by Saturday, Ken's going to have who this belonged to, who
the
their
location. Somebody will take a
most
picture of the
recent
grave.
relative is with miles. Yeah, yeah. He loves doing the research on this kind of stuff.
But yeah, and I thought about donating
Incredible.
some of this to the museum that was in town. But unfortunately that museum kind of closed down. Like all the stuff is still there, but I don't know if it does any like public tours anymore. So I just held off on donating it because I thought it would have been an amazing piece to display for the town's history because this family was very influential. They were a very well regarded family.
Beautiful
Very cool,
piece.
man. Very, very cool.
Wow. And I just love the story that goes along with it, right? Like just incredible stuff here.
Yeah, it's great when you find that it's all shiny and impressive looking, and then you start digging into it. You see some writing, and then you figure out what it says, and you're going down the rabbit hole with it, and then it opens up to all these other pieces you had found there. That's pretty awesome.
I found another interesting piece that I didn't send a photo of, but it's a silver crescent with like a little face on the moon, like a little crescent. So think of like the trime crescent, that thin crescent. It looked like that, but it had like a full circle around it. So like the crescent was on the one side, and then there was an opening on the other side of the circle. So it was like a crescent and then like a big opening, but the circle was like the whole thing. There's just an opening, and then there's the crescent. It had a face drawn in the crescent, like a super ornate face. And doing some research on the county, it was actually a very well-known county for bushwhackers. They were constantly going there and doing things. And I read one of the bushwhacker accounts of their uniform. They were actually known to have gone to this town and have stayed there for 3 days. And I was reading an account that was written in like 1904 of like one of the dudes that rode with William Quantrill and like Bloody Bill. And this was actually, I think Bloody Bill's he was involved in the town was Bloody Bill. And he was talking about their uniform, and they said it was like a certain color jacket and everything. And then they had a hat with a plume on it, and the plume was pinned to their hat with a silver crescent.
Oh my gosh.
I never could tell if that was time period or not, or if that was what it was from. But I also found Civil War bullets, like drop bullets and camp lead. That's where I think that trime came from. That burned trime I found was in the same yard. And one of the Civil War bullets I found was like a Colt Dragoon bullet, and it had the number 4 carved into the side of it. And so, something was happening there during the Civil War, and I found that silver crescent kind of in the area that all that other Civil War stuff came from. So I don't know if it was related, but it would be. It's exciting to think it was.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we have to do when we find these things is fill in the blanks and link the stories together. From 2025 all the way back to 1861. Like what we got to connect it somehow. Oh gosh, you had mentioned Quantrill's Raiders. Oh, the Quantrill's Raiders wore red pants, not to be confused with the Hayes' red legs, of course.
No, can't confuse those.
No.
Those red legs stood out. Those red legs stood out.
How about the most recent find that you had here? You want to talk about that? Want to get into that one?
Sure, I'm more than down to talk about that.
Well,
that clothespin? You mean that 1942 clothespin he found?
It was mint condition.
Amazing. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like it actually still worked. It actually still worked. Can you believe it? Okay, that's all we have time for tonight. Good night, everybody.
No, we got to talk about this this crazy find right here. So, this happened not too long ago, and God, I would just need to hear excitement and all that kind of stuff here. So tell us what we're looking at here. I think if we see it, we know what it is, but tell us for the audio listeners.
That is is actually the smallest coin the U.S. has ever minted. It's very yellow in color. Unfortunately, there's a dog here next to it.
It's almost shiny.
It is almost shiny. One could almost say it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
But it's a gold coin. It's a $1 gold coin. It's my first. Been looking for one for 10 years. Finally one just about a month ago. So I was very, very. It's funny because I thought I'd do a gold dance and whatnot, but I was kind of like stunned. Like I didn't know what to say. I was just like, I got gold. That was about all I could muster.
Right.
And then I was just like, wow. Like, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like when I was, when I could like guess what I'm about to dig. So I knew I was on a site that could have all sorts of stuff. And I was just like, oh, this 1112 signal could be a gold coin. Oh, this one could be a gold coin. Oh, this one could be a gold coin. And then for whatever reason, this is the only signal that I didn't even think. I was just like, I guess I'll dig it. And then I was just like, just flung it up in the dirt. And I was just like, oh my God, I got gold. I was just like dumbfounded. And I said,
did it take you a second, like to realize what you're looking at? Like, honestly, like, because it's got to blow your mind away. Yeah. I know
me.
Ken did the same thing when he found his. Was you're expecting it to be anything but that. That is probably the furthest thing that you ever could have thought. And when you pull that out, it you know, the connections between the firing of all of in your brain, and like you got to wait for everything to kind of connect up for you to kind of understand exactly what you just are looking at.
Yep. And just the great lengths I went to get this coin was like, it just shocked me when I saw the gold edge. And like I said, it was the one signal that I didn't even think to myself it was going to be a gold coin. And funny enough, we had just started digging that day. That was my first hole that day. Like I got out of the car, walked like 40 feet, and boom, first hole, gold coin. And I just like it literally, I just was like, I looked at it and it took me probably 3 or 4 seconds to even say anything to my friends. And I was just like, I got gold. And like, I was just like dumbfounded. I thought I was going to get up and do like a happy dance and like, you know, act like a fool, but it just didn't happen.
So how much longer did you look around there for more?
Yeah.
What I'll say is, we couldn't stay there any longer because something happened. So it was like, I dug that coin and then something happened and we had to leave. Like immediately.
Police came and chased you off the property.
I wish it was the police.
There you go.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Yeah, and I mean, this was the reason I reached out to you, because you know I'd seen this on Facebook and social media and stuff, and I wanted to reach out and congratulate you because, again, this is something that you don't expect. This is probably maybe number one on almost everybody's bucket list to ever find. And people that have been going 40, 50 years of detecting have never dug one. So, you know, I wanted to congratulate you and welcome you to the club.
Thank you.
And, you know, I just, it's such a special find, you know, and it's just absolutely amazing. I wanted to look at the back too, because we've got some interesting stuff on the back going on.
Yeah. Tell us about that. So
just like a brief thing, like
pretty wiped.
My on this is I was in a old military camp, and my theory is that the wreath is still there, but the center coin where it has the date and the denomination of the coin is pretty much worn smooth. You can see the top of like the one for the $1, and then like where the date is normally you can see the edge of the one. But everything else is like pretty much worn smooth. So I think it was just a soldier sitting there, bored out of his rocker, sitting there just rubbing on his coin. And, you know, that's the only thing I can think. I was like, it's such an odd wear pattern that it would wear just right there in the middle and not anywhere else on the coin. If it was like a normal circulated coin.
Yeah.
And
almost like, you know what that was? That was the fidget spinner of the 1850s. You know what I mean?
It's a very tiny A very
toy.
tiny fidget spinner.
He would just fidget. He would fidget with it and just rub it raw because there's no other way that could happen.
Yeah, not that wear.
No, because
like that.
I found this exact coin at 53, right? So, different year, but it's the one and the dollar in that center are not any higher than that wreath.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I mean, it's all pretty equal relief there. So,
is this a 51?
It is a 51. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's the bottom of the one. I'm trying to make out these, as you're talking about the numbers, I can see the bottom of the one right here. I don't know if I see maybe the 5 right here, and then I saw the 1 here. So
yep. And that was like we were looking at it, and we had to like really squint at it out in the field to figure out what it was.
Yeah, Ohio Relic Hunter has a great idea. Could have been trying to turn it into a love token.
It's possible. There, like that little divot there, that's not dirt. That's like some sort of verdigris.
This right here?
No, to the top left, you see that like little
brown mark.
Yeah, that little brown mark.
Oh, this.
Yeah, that's not dirt. That's like some sort of verdigris or something. I tried cleaning it off and it won't come off. It's like stuck to the coin. So I mean, it's very possible he could have been trying to make some sort of weird love token.
Right. And describe what, back in, hundreds of years ago, people making love tokens. What was that? What was the idea behind that?
So my understanding, it was to give to their loved ones as like a form of love. Like if you went through all the effort to wear off a coin and then engrave it in a very intricate way and give it to someone, it was like a one of the greatest forms of love at the time. I know they did something similar in England where like they bent the coins in certain directions. I'm not too familiar with that because I haven't gone to England, but I've read something about that. They would like bend the one side of the coin up and the other side of the coin down as like a love token.
And I found a wiped coin and I couldn't ID it. I was just ecstatic. I found silver in England, right? And it's about the size of a dime-ish. And I'd put it on social media. And the way that you look at it, somebody was like, that's a love token. They had just on the edges, just bent it down a little bit and bent it up a little bit. Not very far into the middle of it, but just right on the edge, they bent it down. And then right on this edge, they bent it up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what it is. That was exactly it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Love tokens are so beautiful.
Yeah, imagine messing up. You're like halfway through the engraving, you go and just like mess up the coin.
Oh man,
Can you imagine?
I gotta start over.
Start over.
I think he was trying to make it into a fidget spinner. That's what I think. That's right better. Yeah. He was going to bejewel it. He was going to bejewel it next. Put some jewels on there.
I love that idea. I love that idea that, maybe he was leaving, the wreath and everything, intact, and then just going to do something in the middle here as the love token. I think it's a great idea. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's part of the mystery that also is one of those things that just drives my love for the hobby, because you find stuff and you go, man, I just wonder what this was for. Or what were they doing with this? Like, and it's just one of those things that you sit there and you try and figure out, what the most plausible scenario is for whatever you're looking at. Like this, I'm like, when I found it and I was out in the field and I looked at it, I was like, man, my first thing I said to my friends was, man, it looks like he just sat there and rubbed on it like forever.
Were you shocked at how small it is? It is small, man.
Yeah. When I found it, it actually took me like a little bit longer to pinpoint than normal, because I was just like, it's such a small coin. I had my pinpointer on the highest sensitivity, but I guess it was just deep enough that it wasn't picking it up. And then I finally got a hit on the pinpointer, and I dug down deeper than I thought than it actually was, because I thought it was deeper, but it was actually a little bit more shallow. And I flung the dirt up, and that's when I saw it like kind of fall on the dirt on the side of the wall. I just saw the gold rim, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting, man.
Yeah,
it's small. Shocking. It's smaller than a trime. Like if people have ever held a small trime, I
thought
smallest coin U.S. produced.
Ohio Relic Hunter said is 1 millimeter smaller than a trime.
Yeah, I think it's 12 millimeters. is the gold coin. I believe it's 12.
Okay.
And the Trime, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 higher than that, but
Is it?
pretty close, but definitely smaller. But
I was
man,
looking up Trime, but
that brings me back, dude.
Trime is 14.
Trime is 14.
14 millimeter. Yeah. So there you go.
Brings me right back, Kyle. I found the same $1 gold coin and same type of experience where you fling that out or you see it and you know what it is, or you don't know what it is. And then when you realize what it is, like your world melts. Like I had the same type of reaction physically that you would get like if you were almost killed, a huge
your heart
adrenaline
stops.
rush,
Yeah.
completely dry mouth immediately, inability to kind of think so well, and just kind of like ears almost ringing, kind of flush into your face. Like it affected me big time. I just didn't know what to do.
Yep. I remember watching that video of your gold coin.
I had to back up. I didn't want to touch it.
Yeah,
I was like,
man.
I don't know what to do.
Color me
Oh my
jealous
gosh.
because I watched that and I was like, man, I need to get me one of those.
Yeah. Just never would have guessed in a million years, especially where I was detecting. There was just not even a chance, because we just don't find coins in some of the places we hunt. Most of the time we're hunting in places where we just don't find coins. And
that's what my friend was saying. He was like, yeah, we weren't even thinking anything was going to happen. And then you found that. And we're like, oh my gosh.
Right. Crazy.
Oh,
and what
go ahead.
What was terrible about the day that I found that gold coin is we were with a friend, Beth, and Beth at that point had found the most amazing finds on that property. She found 2 of them. She found some 1930s Navy Eagle button, 2 of them tin backs. And what were they doing there in the middle of this, backyard in middle of Colorado, and we were just, we sent pictures to Riley, and Riley was like, oh yeah, it's a 1930s tin back Eagle Navy button. And we're like, you gotta be kidding me.
Are you talking about like the little ones that went on like the kepi hats?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, real little.
Yeah.
And she found 2 of them, and it was like, holy cow, and then I come up with that gold coin, and it kind of overshadowed things, but it did, because we were excited, but still, they were still just the most amazing finds that she pulled there. And I think it went back to that property and found more.
You guys have some great spots out there. I'm telling you, like, just from some cursory research, and not that I was going to come out and hunt, but it was just like, I was just interested in it because, trails come from the east and they head west. And so I was just looking, I was like, man, there's probably some great spots in Colorado. And I mean, all over, people just don't realize, like, even places like Alabama, Mississippi, and like West Virginia, like, gosh, West Virginia has some amazing spots too.
Yeah.
My state, I live in Texas. It's one of the things I haven't touched on was the Republic of Texas. Like, and Texas had its own army. They had their own uniforms and buttons and stuff, and they're incredibly rare, but it's so much fun to hunt for. Like, I don't know of any state in the country that just doesn't have at least a couple sites that aren't just could be amazing to hunt. Like Colorado, hell, even Oregon and Washington. Like you look at the Willamette Valley where the Oregon Trail ended, and that started in the 1830s. There's 1830s home sites in Oregon somewhere. Like, there's some old stuff out there.
Sure is, and it's fun to go look for it, especially when you're able to find it. Right.
Yes.
All that research pays off, and then you're just like, hallelujah, like touchdown. You know what I mean? It's like, spike the ball. Oh my gosh, it all paid off, and we found it. Like, I've been recently doing a lot more research on some of the trail systems that Tony and I used to hunt, because Tony, we got to get back on that, man. You know what I mean?
I know we do.
We were doing so well with it and stuff, and then, we just need to further that on, because we surely didn't exhaust it. Not by a long shot.
No,
but
we scratched the surface on that trail, that military trail. I mean, the sites that the 2-3 sites that we were on there, we hunted that for a year and a half. And that's, you got to figure that's just 1, 2, 3 sites right within each other. You just go up and down that trail, just find those spots where they were just doing the one night camps.
Yeah,
if that's
near a spring or something,
near high ground, near water, and you're gonna come across I think let's see, I met some friends out in Kansas who said they had come across a one night camp, and all of a sudden it was nothing. I mean, you're just trying to find it, right? I mean, this is our general area, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, we're on it. And I mean, there were buttons and bullets, and I mean, just coming up left and right for a one night camp. And those are all over the place, especially Colorado, when they're out here traveling so far out here to protect against the Indians and settlers moving and all this kind of stuff. They're all over the place. You got to do the research, and then you got to put boots on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know the East Coast has it like easier in terms of like where, because when I was in Virginia hunting, I was like, man, I feel like I could just walk into any field here and find something.
Sure.
And I think
Right.
that's what most people think about is like, oh, it would be a lot easier to find
Right.
something there. But man, like some of the stuff you can find just in any state is just like, like in Texas, like Texas goes back to the 1500s. There's a French fort built in Texas in the 1500s. Like there's some old stuff here. And it's one of those things that, most people don't even realize. I think there was a fort that was like abandoned, and they buried like some cannons in Texas, and the archaeologists recently found those cannons, and those cannons were buried in the 1600s. Like
it's insane.
They buried them because the Indians were like killing everyone at the fort, and so they buried the cannons and left and abandoned the fort, and archaeologists just dug it up, and there's like I think it was like 6 or 7 cannons that they just found recently.
Wow.
And it's like French and Spanish and all sorts of other stuff. So you just never know what you'll find.
Yeah. You got some great history in Texas for sure. For sure. We had a question come in that I want to make sure that we do ask you about before we run out of time. But Ohio Relic Hunter asked, what is your strangest find? I know it's putting you on the spot, but something that's kind of the strangest, maybe story or object.
I mean, story-wise, I could go into like all the strange people I've met.
Oh yeah, we got to hear some of those.
Yeah,
my buddy and I, and I'll tell a town name just because it's funny to me because I live.
So we can go to his house.
Yeah. Well, don't go to his house. We were minors at the time, actually. So he probably should have gone to jail. But I was out with a friend, and we were door knocking in Sherman, Texas, and went up to this guy's house and knocked. I was the one knocking. My friend was in the car, like barely paying attention, I think. And the dude just answered the door butt naked, like just nothing on at all. And me being me, I was just like, well, I got to ask him, I'm here. So
he answered the door. I mean, you have his attention now.
And, I hate being this way just because it's not like what I normally like to do. But like I gave my spiel and he said, yep, I just like to see what you find. So we dug that house anyways. We found a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to knock on the door again, so we just left without showing him what we found.
Oh.
And like I said, I'm not normally like that, but like I didn't want to go through that again. So
he wasn't like coming out and leaning over you and stuff.
No, he went back inside.
Over your shoulder.
Yeah.
What do you got there, buddy?
In terms of finds, I don't have like a quarter hoarder like witch jar thing, but
gosh,
I found just things in strange places, like the Merry Widow's condom tins that you'll find occasionally. I found one in the middle of a courthouse lawn, like in downtown, like just in the courthouse lawn. Like, what was this doing here? Like, it's like
they were going to go away they were going away for a while, and they had to get everything before they left.
Yep.
And, you know what I'm waiting to find? I'm waiting to find a 3 Merry Widows tin with a brothel token on the inside, rattling around. I kept all my brothel tokens in my 3 Merry Widow tin.
That would be great.
Yep, and that was in a place out in like West Texas where there's like no trees or like anything to hide behind. So like, what were they doing out in the middle of the courthouse square?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, I think our grandparents were freakier than we think.
That's true. That's why I have 8 aunts and uncles.
I come from a Catholic family, so I understand.
See? Yep, that's exactly that. That's right. We got one more find I wanted to show real quick here. I think this is probably number 2 on bucket listers behind the gold coin, but we've got an incredible silver coin right here.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Jeez. Tell us what this is.
So the interesting story behind this coin is I was out with my buddy that I was telling you about earlier, John Sherman. And after he had like taught me a lot of different things, and I was like starting to flesh out sites on my own and like invite him along, I found a site that dates back to the Republic of Texas era. And the interesting thing about the site is it had an old family cemetery on it. Well, in the family cemetery, one of the gentlemen that signed the Texas Declaration of Independence was buried in that cemetery. His name was Alcorn, was his last name. And the cemetery is super small, and it had a little tiny wrought iron fence around it. So we were looking for the home site, and our belief was that in those old family cemeteries, he was buried in 1844. And in those old family cemeteries, they wouldn't have been very far from the actual house site. So we were hunting like close to the cemetery. We were not in it, just nearby. And if you saw the site, you'd understand why we were nearby. It was kind of close quarters over there. But I was within eyeshot of his cemetery or his gravesite in that cemetery when I dug this. And the interesting thing about this is that the Texas Declaration of Independence was signed in 1836 by the gentleman that was buried like 15 feet away from where I just dug this coin. So that was pretty interesting.
So this is a capped bust. Is it a dime or half dime?
Half dime.
Half dime. Wow.
Shoo. That is really cool. Beautiful.
Yep. And that's what, like, a lot of people in Texas don't think that this stuff is in Texas, but I'm telling you, like, you can find cap busts. Like, I've heard of it coming out of Kansas. I've heard of it coming out of Iowa. I don't know about Colorado because you and Tony and Ken are the only people I know that dig in Colorado. I haven't heard about it coming out of Colorado, but I'm sure it has at some point.
It would be extremely rare. I think the earliest we found was, do you have 44?
44.
Was it 44?
1844
was earliest seated that we've seen.
Yeah.
So that's not too far off from here, but still, yeah, it'd be pretty rare.
Yep. And I know there's a lot of these things out there. They're hard to find, but if you put in the effort, you will eventually find something like this. It took a lot of walking to get to where this coin was. I mean, we probably walked like 10 miles that day to get there. So just going up and down, gritting the property, looking for a house site.
Sure.
So,
and then you float all the way back.
Yep.
Right.
And it was a very eerie day out. It was super like fog, like dense fog, and the trees down there in that county are like super big because it's one of the oldest settled counties in Texas. And the trees are super big, and there's this dense fog, and there's that wrought iron fence in the cemetery there, and it's super quiet out. And just the hum of the machine essentially. Found that, and I was just like, I sat down, and I was just like, wow, this is just amazing finding something like this on a day like this, where it's just me and myself and my thoughts. My buddy John was there, but I was lost in the thoughts.
Yeah.
I love how you just kind of, with the signing of their independence, and that guy happens to be there in the cemetery, and you find this coin. Like, what an incredible story to correlate them all together. Just absolutely, I love the story.
Yeah, and we were about 10 miles from where the declaration was signed.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
That's incredible.
Ties it all together.
It does.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So what's next for you, Kyle?
Oh,
it's on your bucket list now, my friend.
Well, with my daughter, I haven't been getting out as much, and I was telling our friends that I was like, man, I would love to come out and just hunt this site and where I found the gold coin, and just like find a gold coin. That was my goal, was to go hunt this army site and find the gold coin. And then after that, I was like, I haven't had the time because I had a daughter. I've had a daughter and a job and everything, and I just don't have the time to get out right now. And I said, after this trip, I'm just going to go and hang up the detector for a while, just because, I'm not getting out and, finding stuff anymore. And I want to focus more on my daughter. And so that was the plan until I found the gold coin, and that just like lit a fire under my ass. And now I'm just rearing to go again.
Back to the research, back to the boots on the ground.
Yeah, I was trying to be the responsible guy, but no, I got to keep my hobbies.
Yeah.
So
it's important. It's important to feed, feed your soul.
Good life
even
balance.
though your daughter's definitely going to do that for sure, but won't be too long till she's able to come out with old dad and dig your targets for you.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll give her the pinpointer. She can have fun.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, man, you've been an incredible guest. We knew we would have fun with you for sure, and it's been a blast, man. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. And our audience, I know they love hearing it. They're like 5 Mile Relic Hunter Larry said, I just love listening to the stories that go along with everyone's finds. That's what makes it, if you think metal detecting is all about what you find, you'll soon learn that it's more about what you learn from the experience of being with friends and finding what you find and kind of learning the stories behind it. And the deeper you go, the further down the rabbit hole you go, the more it enhances the experience of these sometimes little, rusty pieces of metal that we find. Anything with a name or a date on it, man, you just, it can be very thrilling once you uncover what it is and where it came from.
Yeah. This hobby is, I love the camaraderie as well. It's like a lifelong memories. You go out and you just, 20, 30 years from now, I'm sure I'll look back and just have super fond memories of what I've done with friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You will, man. You will. Someday, hopefully we'll get together, man. I'd love to detect with you sometime. I'm sure it'll probably be in our future at some point, I'm sure. So looking forward
I'm
to
cooking up a site down here in Texas. Let me tell you, if I find it, it's going to be amazing.
No, is that right? Excellent, man.
So if I do find it, you're welcome to come down because
thank you.
There'll be Republic of Texas military buttons there. And if I find it, you'll probably never have a chance to dig another.
All right. Yeah, absolutely.
Can't wait. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And even if not, it'd be amazing to hear your story and see you succeed in that. There's nothing better, man, than to succeed in the research and have it pay off, because most of the time it doesn't, right? Most of the time we do the research and we go there and we're like, oh man, we didn't find anything. It's like we know we're on the spot, right? But man, when you do hit it, absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy exciting. So any last words for you? And then we'll put you down in the green room. We'll kind of say our goodbyes off the air. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much for having me on. I've had a blast and I always enjoy sharing stories and meeting new people. So this is fantastic. Thank you for having me on.
Quick question. How old are you, Kyle?
I'm 27.
27. Dave wanted to know if you had mentioned your age. Yeah, still young man. Tell you what, doing great, man. Having a great time and finding the goods. It's because you've been putting in the effort. But yeah, go enjoy your daughter, man. The detecting will always be here for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see you in a bit. We'll put you down below. And we'll see you in just a second. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Yeah. Woo. I'd say woof.
Man, I know.
I love to hear people that are passionate about it, man.
The stories.
Love it.
I love the stories, man. You nailed it on the head. You're like, it's not about what is it? It's not about what you find. It's about what you learn. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
what I said. If you want the T-shirt, I can send it to you for $43.25.
43.
Yep. It's got the Deus 2 emblem on the back of it.
25 cents right there. Yeah, the stories, the things that he's found have been absolutely incredible, but the stories that are connected and how he connects the dots, man, what a head on his shoulders. And again, we get done with these guests and we're like, you know what? He's one of us, man. He's just
one of us.
He's one of us.
One of us. Yeah, absolutely.
So I love it. What a great guest, man. I'm so glad we had him on.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. It's great to meet him. I know he's been around. Just never had a chance to chat with him, so that was a lot of fun. Well, what do you got going on, man?
Let's see. If you guys want to find out what I'm up to, just join me over at 5280 Adventures over on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the social media, all the video sites. Come see what I got going on and leave me some comments. I love chatting with you guys and I was messaging with a whole bunch of people today. So I love the interaction, love meeting people that I normally wouldn't get to meet and talking about the hobby that we absolutely love. Now, I wanted to mention real quick before I get off, we've got an incredible guest next week. You guys are not going to want to miss our guest next week. We're going to have a great time. Not going to disclose any information about it, but you're going to want to join us for sure.
It's not a teaser. He means it.
Not. Yes. All right.
Yeah, and you guys can find me at Adventures in Dirt anywhere on social media. And also over at itsaboutinchesandangles.com, where I talk all about welding. No, I'm teasing. Everyone have a great week. Enjoy the weekend coming up. Be safe. Go find the great stuff and make sure you tell us about it. We'll see you next Wednesday with another great guest. Take it easy. See y'all from Relics Radio.
Thank you so much for listening to Relics Radio. We will see you back here next week for another exciting guest. Until then, get out and dig it all.